Ruth here, avid reader, writer, painter, video gamer, movies, novels, and comic book fan. And I figured I was past due for another video yet again. Here we are. It's February, and I have a few announcements to make again. So a few things I'll talk about. Starting off with February is first off with regards to Fund My Comic. So if you're wondering why Soltac is presently unavailable at this time, what's happening is I'm waiting on Fund My Comic to come online. So here it is right here, Fund My Comic, as you can see on my screen.com. Currently status with that site is it's in testing. Our deployment team is currently finalizing tests for the patches that we are required throughout all of our systems. Due to the scale of the initial deployments, this has taken quite a significant amount of time. As our systems and deployment teams continue to work, we are preparing for the rollout of the official Fund My Comic marketing site. This rollout will provide more information regarding expected release schedules, known issues, and beta feature sets. We anticipate this rollout to be completed before the end of the week and are hopeful to begin rolling out access as early as this weekend. We appreciate your continued patience. So if you were to go to Fund My Comic, I'm going to bring the mic a little closer there just so I've got some consistent microphone. I know it's in my face there. So they are working on this site, and it's just understanding with Fund My Comic what Luke and Todd are attempting to do here is basically create our own independent crowdfunding site, separate from Kickstarter, separate from IndieGoGo, separate from the gatekeepers, and ESG. Essentially, My Comic it's essentially creative freedom, not get canceled, not have your campaign shadow banned by IGG or Kickstarter, or have your campaign kicked off right when it comes time to fulfill it. I mean, we all know the horror stories that have gone on at Kickstarter and IGG. They just made life a living hell for creators and for fans. And I can't wait for Fund My Comic to come online. I'm excited for it. I'm holding out for it. And I'm waiting for Fund My Comic. So I'll put a link for fundmycomic.com in the description for this video as well. Feel free to drop your email, as it says in this page. They're basically collecting emails, and what it does is it gives you a first exposure and a chance as a creator to be one of the first ones to launch a campaign on this site. If you look at this bottom screen here, or wherever it is, I figured out how to close the box a little bit to draw it away from the page. So I'm curious to see if you can see the full page here without it being blocked out. But so here's a pretty cool inside cover graphic that we made. I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone on my creative team. Gonzalo did all the pencils and inks, as well as he took over the colors after page 60. So if you do get the graphic novel, page 61 and on is all Gonzalo at that point. Colors was Alonso Espinoza and Gonzalo, and I'm very appreciative for Alonso. Thank you so much for coming on board. You really helped us speed this book along. If it wasn't for Alonso coloring those first 60 pages, we would only be coloring like the first 10, but you know what I mean? So Alonso did color the first 1 to 60 pages. Thank you so much. The reason why Gonzalo came off at page 60 was only because we'd finished the line art at that point, and Gonzalo could color his own line art for a lot cheaper, and it's just a financial thing, right? Like, I got to count my dollars. I'm not DC, I'm not Marvel, I'm not Image, I'm not an infinite amount of cash. Thank you, Alonso, for coloring page 1 to 60, and Gonzalo for coloring the rest of the book from there. Kurt Hathaway, if you're not aware, Kurt Hathaway is Image Studios, Extreme Studios legend in the comic book industry. I'm so grateful and appreciative that Kurt took the time to work with me on this book. I learned an incredible amount of information from Kurt. Kurt taught me how to write a comic book script properly. Kurt provided me feedback via audio tapes on my original. I cannot believe I sent Kurt Hathaway my very first draft of my script, like script volume 1. Like, who does that? Who sends their first rough draft out for approval? Don't do that with your script. All right, take the time to vet it and go through it. So it was awful. He tore me apart, script apart, rightfully so. That's the kind of feedback you should get. Yeah, it was bad. version 1 of my script. But he taught me how to write comic book scripts properly, gave me a lot of awesome feedback, which also then helped my editors further down. As well as script, Kurt took care of all the lettering for in the book, all the sound effects, the lettering, as well as the pre-press, putting the print files together. So again, thank you, Kurt. Again, an industry legend. I think he's got over 3,000 comics under his belt. And the fact that he just took time out of his life. There's two things you can offer people in this world, time and money, and they're both interchangeable. They're both just as valuable. I think actually time is more valuable than money, because once you have enough money, you've only got a finite amount of time in this world to do what you want to do. So again, thank you for that. The flats. So if you don't know what a flatter is, flats help the colorists basically speed up. What the flats do is they take the line art and they put the base color on the line art. So basically it gets the color palette out there, and then from there the colorist can basically turn it into a 3D image and add shading, shadows, contours, lighting effects, you know what I mean, all that good stuff, right? But the flatter does help speed up the project big time. And I just want to say thank you to Shane. Again, Shane's an incredible flatter. She's quick, she's effective. I would give Shane like 4 pages and she'd have them back to me in a week. So if you're looking for a flatter to take the line art, put them flat colors on, it's not that expensive either. It's just a few bucks a page, right? But it really helps the colorist and it really helps the production. So thank you, Shane, for flatting Soltac, as well as Red Valkyrie. Again, if you go to YouTube, I'll put Red Valkyrie's channel in the description as well. Red Valkyrie, that's Shay and Cyborg. I was looking for editors because I know I'm scatterbrain. I know my brain goes, like, I go 10 different directions. I needed someone to basically ground my writing. I needed a second set of eyes, or 2 additional set of eyes for that matter, because basically I hired both of them. Shay and Cyborg, they took my script writing, and man, the stuff they picked up, a lot of the stuff they picked up I kind of subconsciously knew was there. I just didn't know if the readers would pick it up. Yeah, they picked it all up. They picked up my scatterbrain thoughts. They grounded my lettering. The stuff they did was just genius. And you would think it would be obvious. You think you would pick it up as the writer, but really you need an additional set of eyes to look at your writing to really make sure that the product that you're giving to the reader is top notch. And I've told both Shay and Cyborg thank you. As editors, they did exactly what I needed them to do. And then if you didn't know, my book got picked up by Arrow Comics. That's pretty good on a first publishing of a graphic novel to get picked up by a publisher. Creating this book, financially on the hook for printing this book, and then I thought IndieGoGo was going to cancel my campaign, and I was going to be sitting here with 1,000 copies of my books and no sales. I was in a pretty dark place. But Randy and Luke, Randy Zimmerman and Luke Stone from Arrow Comics, tied into what was happening to me. They realized what was going on and said, hey, this isn't right. This guy hasn't done anything. This guy hasn't said anything. This guy hasn't disrespected anybody. At least have done something wrong. You know what I mean? At least have footage of me saying something offensive, or a tweet that I've insulted somebody or something. No. Just no reason. I'm not welcome. I'm a conservative, therefore I'm not welcome. Quick look at some of the press files. So this is what Blood and Ink. Blood and Ink is essentially the line art version of the book. It's line art with blood, accentuated with blood effects, just to make it more gory and violent. So this is the print file, the pre-press print file of what the cover will look like for the line art version of the book. Just give me a second. I've almost got this bad boy done already, eh? So yeah, and I think I'm going to put these in the thumbnail as well. So here's the color. Here's the color pre-press print file for the cover, for the color version of the book. And I mean, you can see the amount of time, the labor of love we've put into this book. I mean, look at this. I got an ISBN number, everything, right? A nice little cool writing on the back. I mean, we spent 3 years working on this book. Look at that cover. Look how badass that cover is. I mean, this is everything that comic books was supposed to be about. Comic books are supposed to be fun, exciting, escapism, cool characters that you can relate to, exciting characters, an exciting journey, almost like a drug. I hate to say it, an adrenaline rush where it takes you away from the world. You can relate to the characters. You follow the characters on their journey and their exciting adventure. Raw, guns, swords, violence, blood, action. You know what I mean? Everything I love about comics. And I mean, I've been reading comics since like 1985, so I've been a fan for many years. And I'm finally following a dream after serving in the military for 26 years to finally create my own comic. And those of you that have supported me, thank you. Thank you so much for the support. I said with the book, we're in the print files right now. Everything's colored. All line art's done. Lettering's done. Coloring's done. The books are like, we're very close to doing the print files. Luke is finally in his new location. He's just settling into his new house. I said this book is going to be printed in February. By God, we're going to print this book in February. So I had 16 minor corrections to the artwork and the colors that I showed Gonzalo. Now, Gonzalo's very vocal with me. Gonzalo will tell me if something I've shown him is too much or is ridiculous. He's free to say whatever he wants. My entire creative team is free to say whatever they want. I believe in freedom, free speech, free opinion. People will usually argue with me, but I sent him all 16 corrections. I mean, he didn't object to any one of them. He's like, yeah, which was really surprising for Gonzalo. And he's working on all 16 corrections now. None of those corrections to the artwork needed to happen to the story. It's about creating the best product I can possibly create for the reader and the writer. I'm making sure it's as authentic. It matches again, when you get this book, I'm telling you, Soltac, it's going to be really interesting to see what the feedback is from Soltac, because I'm not kidding. I set out to make the best comic book ever made as far as I could. Now, I'm not so narcissistic to say I have the best comic book ever made. That's up to you, the reader, and you, the fan, to decide. But I'm telling you, people who get this book, it's going to set a high watermark. It's going to set, I can't wait. I know people are going to get this book and they're going to love it. So, just to show you an example of some of the corrections I gave to Gonzalo, just to give you an idea of the stuff. So this here, again, I'm not pretending that I'm well-versed in Japanese culture. I'm not a weeaboo, all right? Although I'm very fascinated with samurai culture, Miyamoto Musashi, Japanese culture, just the fact that for like 200 years they removed themselves from the civilized world, and how they very much had a warrior, a Bushido culture, and a hierarchy based on the warrior and the way of the warrior. Yeah, it just really appeals to me, samurai culture and that whole mythology of, walking around with two swords and being a samurai gave you a certain level and status in the hierarchy, and how the shogun had as much power as the emperor. I mean, oh man, samurai culture. But anyway, so going back to my comic book, I'll go down the weeds all day. I'll sit here and talk all day. However, I don't want to bore you. So one of the things I had to fix with my book, here is naginata, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. They're basically Japanese spears, naginata. There's basically a pole with a sword on the end of it. And one of the things I picked up with my book that I wasn't happy with was, so this is my fault, by the way. This isn't Gonzalo's. When I drew these spears, I drew them like diamond point spears, right? They're not. I just didn't like them. Like, what are you gonna do with a spear like that to someone? You're gonna like club them to death with a diamond pointed spear? It's not really an effective weapon. You can't even really penetrate someone. Like, what do you just jab them with that diamond head? So I didn't like this. Again, it's my fault. I drew it like that in my layouts, and Gonzalo just copied my layouts. But I very much want these to be more sword-like, right? More like a naginata, as I said. So this is one of the corrections where I've got Gonzalo going back and making these spears look cool. I mean, they're not doing anything. It's just a pure visual aesthetic. But yeah, it's just, I want those spears to be effective killing weapons, right? And authentic to Japanese culture. And it's the community that actually ended up backing me, gave me time, brought me on their channels, showed my book, gave me an opportunity to present my book, and just show it to the world. I have 96 backers. 96 people put their faith in me, put their money in me, invested in me, gave me the opportunity. And I did raise $5,000, so say what you will, that's pretty good on a first campaign. But that's not where I need to be to continue with this book. That's about a quarter, roughly a quarter of how much it costs to make that graphic novel, a 92-page graphic novel. And yeah, like I said, that's not sustainable in the long run. So yeah, we'll see what happens when I put this book on fundmycomic. If I can get that I've created a good enough story to stand on its own feet. At the end of the day, it's you, the backer, you, the reader, that decides whether or not to back and support my book. So all that nonsense and fighting and rage and rivalry and finger pointing, honestly, that can all go out the window. I don't care about any of that. But it's exciting and draws people in to generate the audience and so forth. And who knows, maybe I'll get there. But I got to keep this on camera. But before I wrap this up, I'll talk on a couple things. Again, we're in February. So Soltac will print this month. I'm hoping to fulfill in March the IGG campaign. I managed to sell 96 copies, and some of those are both books, so more like 150 copies of Soltac. I sold 150 copies of my book first time out, and I raised $5,000. That's pretty good first time out the gate. But the plan is going forward for March. Once I've fulfilled the IndieGoGo campaign, those 96 backers receive their books. I get that feedback from those backers, which I keep saying, a lot of my backers are YouTube creators. A lot of them are other comic book creators. A lot of them have YouTube page sites. Please welcome me to come on your channel to talk about my book when you receive it. I don't care if you lay into me. I don't care if you lay into the writing. I just want to know what you think of the book. I want to hear it from you, the reader, you that backed the book, whether I should keep going or whether I should give up my job and go find something else to do with my time. I want that feedback. That feedback is essential. And I hope I'm invited on your channel. And I hope that I'm active on fundmycomic at that time as well, so I can use that energy, use that feedback, because I know people who get this book are going to be like, holy shit, man, this book is amazing. I know that's all I'm going to hear. I know it. I just need that confirmation. And then anyone watching this, I hope you will be interested in backing Soltac and just backing a veteran who spent 26 years serving in the military, risking my life 2 years in Afghanistan, doing everything I can to serve. And now that I'm approaching 50, I just wanted to create a comic book. And I'm now going to do Soltac in basically 32-page floppies first. So this is the first 32-page floppy. Then there'll be an issue 2, 32 pages, issue 3, 32 pages. And I'm hoping between selling the graphic novel and splitting it into floppies, I'll make issue 4, which is the next 32-page floppy. And then I'm hoping I have enough capital to make issue 5, issue 6. I'm hoping that snowball gains size, gains momentum. I can get more people into Soltac and loving Soltac. And then I'll put the second graphic novel together. And then from there, sell the first and the second graphic novel and complete the journey with all 3 graphic novels. And then see what people want to do from there. If you tell me as fans, you better keep going. You better keep going. I'll keep going, absolutely. If the love's there, if the support's there, if the money's there, I'll keep going until I have a heart attack and die, basically. But that's up to you. If you don't back my books, it won't happen, right? So Hybrids issue 2's in there. Again, it's a really good bundle for $40. You get the first issue of Chrome Dog, first issue of Soltac, first issue of The Fool, and then issue 2 of Hybrids, issue 2 of HeroBot Zero, and then issue 2 of Revolt. Now, if you're like, hey, I want issue 1 of Hybrids, I want issue 1 of Revolt, and I want issue 1, well, good news. There's an Arrow 1 bundle as well, which this is probably obscured by my profile here. I'll bring that up. So you could get basically the Arrow 1 bundle, the Arrow 2 bundle, $90 US. Look how many comics that is. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 comics for $90 in those 2 bundles. That's pretty good, man. Stores ain't doing much better than that. Like even at $5 a comic, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. So $70 in a comic book store, $90 online, right? We're not Disney. We're not DC. We're not Marvel. We don't have the luxury of printing 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 copies of our book. You know what I mean? And if I plugged another character number there, Justin, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're going to have another skipped backer, eh? Like, what the hell? What's with all these skipped backers? But I hope you take the chance to go out to Chrome Dogs. It gives you an opportunity to get that first, basically 32 pages of Soltac. Otherwise, like I said, I will be printing this month. I'm going to send the print files to Luke. I'm hoping my March video for Mad Show, I'm hoping I'll be able to hold up the graphic novel next month. This is Soltac. It exists. This is the book. We're getting really close. We're printing in February. Hoping to fulfill in March. Hoping to launch on fundmycomic in March. Again, recock, rejig, send the campaign out again. Working on the next installment. That's the last little update I forgot to include before I wrap up this video. Was that I'm working on the script for the next book, and here it is here, Soltac Arise. That's the next 32 pages. So I am working away on that. I'm not very far along, but I mean I've started thumbnailing. The next 32 pages, and I'm started working on issue 4. So I mean it just never stops, right? I definitely got to grow my YouTube channel, grow my audience. But in any case, if you watched this video, if you stayed with this video, if you're still here, thank you so much. Please push like, please share, please comment, say whatever you want on this video. You can call me whatever names. Literally, you can leave the dumbest comment you could possibly leave on this video. I don't care. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me in any way. Maybe YouTube would have a problem with it, but I don't. I'm all about free speech. I think everyone has the right to say what they want. Words aren't violence, okay? People should feel free to express themselves. But I'm just glad I finally brought you another video. Again, I said I would do a video a month, one video a month. I've been keeping my word. I've been doing it. I really am trying to get down to at least one video a month. A video a week is what I'd like to do. I'd like to have a time slot, a day and a time slot where I can either draw, because I can draw. I mean, there are comic books out in comicsgate where I could argue I could probably draw on par with those artists if I really applied myself. So yeah, I want to do draw streams. I want to do review streams where I review books that I like and tell you why I like those books, as well as I want to turn this channel into an opportunity to bring you other my fellow creators, give them another platform to show you their books. And I will get there. It just, you know what I mean, just the time has to be right. The audience has to be right. But I think I've got like 165 subscribers on this channel. That's not bad for one video a month for 2.5 years. So thank you everyone who subscribed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my insane ramblings of a madman. In any case, I hope you have a great February. Again, the book's going to printers. If you back Soltac, I'm hoping you'll get your books next month. Okay? So with that being said, I'll close out with my Soltac trailer. And have a great day. Thank you.